News alert now. Europe on edge and the rest of the world as well. Authorities have strong evidence now a second terror suspect may be at large, and they are still searching for several people. Now they're using surveillance video, and they say they can see a man helping carry a large bag before it blew up in that subway station. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner. Here today, Andrea Tanteros, commentator and national spokesperson for LIBRE Initiative, Rachel Campos-Duffy, political and legal analyst and Fox News contributor Ebony Williams is here, and today's hashtag One Lucky Guy. You know him, you know his world. From the O'Reilly Factor, host of Watters World, Jesse Watters is here, and he is Outnumbered. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, as always.
All right, we're going to get right to it. Because we have a lot to tell you about that's breaking on this. We begin with a manhunt that's widening in Belgium now. Local reports say this new suspect I mentioned, who is thought to be on the run, can be seen on that surveillance video inside the subway. He's seen alongside with homicide bomber Khalid El-Bakraoui right before his bomb blew up at the subway station. Prosecutors now saying there is a direct link between the Brussels attacks and the massacre in Paris back in November. So not just commonalities, but a direct link now. And then there's the so-called man in white in the now infamous airport picture who left explosives behind. Authorities detonated those. All of these new details, and we're going to get more. Joining us now live from Brussels, Fox News chief news anchor and anchor of Shepard Smith reporting, Shepard Smith. Shep?
Harris, we first got the word from local media reports, and now it's being confirmed across European capitals. And this is the deal with the subway bombing. Remember, that happened second, about an hour after the bombings at the airport. And now we know from multiple reports citing police sources that there was a man carrying a large black bag, not a suitcase as it's been described, as they've seen it on surveillance video, but like a bag that you would carry over your shoulder, and walking alongside Khalid El-Bakraoui, who was the bomber who got on the train. The man about whom we're speaking now did not get on the train. According to witnesses and the CCTV, as described by the police, he left the train station, and now they're searching for him. If there actually are CCTV pictures, they're not sharing them with the public, and authorities are not speaking at open press conferences about that. But we do know from multiple sources that they're searching for that man. In addition to the other one whom you mentioned, the third man in the three-picture CCTV picture from the airport, that's the man with the hat and the cream-colored coat. It's interesting to all of us that they haven't yet been able to give us any description of him. The authorities don't give us any idea about how they think he might have been involved. The initial report was that the authorities detonated this much larger bomb that he was carrying on his luggage cart. But now they've backtracked on that, and authorities say actually once the authorities arrived and they cleared the area, then that bomb detonated on its own, and it's been described to us as much stronger than the two that had already exploded there. The authorities suggesting that had there been other people there at the time, it could have been a very much worse scene. So they're still looking for those two men plus others whom they have not yet described. We also mentioned that there is a new ISIS video out today. It's one of those propaganda videos. We don't show those videos because they are propaganda, but I think it's important for you to know what's, in general, what's on it. They're basically saying in 9 minutes of propaganda that this will rain down all over Europe. And always at the beginning of these videos, they show some news clips, usually a news anchor reading a couple of things, and they did in this one. And then in this particular one, they then have the words of Donald Trump, who says, it's a clip of his audio, not video of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump says, 20 years ago, Brussels was a great city. Today, let me remember exactly what he said, today it's a horror show, and I quote, today it's a horror show, a complete horror show. I must tell you, the locals have taken great exception toward that. Word of it has spread around here quite quickly. Brussels has neighborhoods where there are problems, where there's great division and great problems within communities, where law enforcement don't speak with the feds. There's no question that they have some problems in some local areas. But Brussels is not a horror show from our experience, and not from those who we've met here. The streets are beautiful. The people are as lovely as they can be. We've enjoyed their company, and they've treated us like guests in their own home. Brussels is a beautiful old European city and a wonderful place to visit. People here, at least, are upset that that's how it's been characterized by the leading Republican for for the office in the United States. A horror show it is not. Back to you.
Shep, I'll pick up just a little bit of that. One of those areas you're talking about is Molenbeek, and that's where a number of these suspects, first in Paris and in Brussels, came from. And so that's an area that authorities have been trying to, according to them, permeate. Perhaps after this, we'll have to see if their role in those areas, those suburbs of Brussels, will change at all. But moving on to my question now, I'm curious about the Americans. You know, we started out with those 3 missionaries from Utah that we knew about. Then it was the military officer and his family that we knew about. And now I'm seeing at least 9 people. What can you fill in for us?
Well, those are still confirmed. The 3 missionaries were injured. The American servicemen and 4 members of his family all injured. We're told on good authority that they will all survive. And then there are 4 others. 2 people from New York City, as reported by the New York Daily News, a brother, their siblings, the 2 of them. They were on the phone, as the story goes, with family, and then they haven't been heard from since. That's one. And then another is a couple, both of them bankers. They're a married couple, both from the United States, American citizens who had been living here and working in the banking industry for quite some time. They've neither been heard from nor seen since. Now, there is some communication gaps about reporting. The hope is that those 4 who are missing just haven't checked in anywhere. But the authorities say after this many days after a terror attack, that would be unusual. Beyond that, Harris, I wish we had more, but there's nothing more to have on those. 9 Americans in all, 5 of them injured, and 4 of them, for now at least, for lack of a better word, missing.
Hey, Shep, it's Andrea. I'm looking at the scenery behind you, and yeah, it doesn't look like a horror show. It's a little disconcerting, though, that the people of Brussels are more worried about what Donald Trump is saying than the carnage that's taking place and the problems that they seem to be facing, which are pretty dire, according to their foreign minister. But I want to ask you about the link between the terror suspects here and in Paris, Shep. Looking at the materials that they seem to use in these suicide vests, the TATP, the acetone peroxide seems to be the same material that was used in the stadium bombing in Paris. Shep, do you know if that was sourced locally, or does it point anywhere else in perhaps the Middle East where those bombs could have been constructed, a similar bomb could have been constructed in the Middle East, the training, in fact? Does it point to ISIS links in other regions?
My understanding of it, and, you know, getting this sort of information together is difficult just a couple of days after, but your point is a good one, and here's what we've been able to learn. The bomber who blew himself up in the airport, who was known to be a bomb maker, his DNA was found on all of the suicide vests that were used in the explosion that happened in November in Paris. Further, his DNA was found on scene at the bombing site at the airport. They haven't identified his body, but his DNA was there, which tells you a little bit about the explosion. And then his DNA found at what is being called the bomb factory. Whether it was or not, I don't know. But that is where they found that 33 pounds of that explosive. Now, that explosive is made with common chemicals, the sort of thing, acetone, that you would be able to buy on the streets, chemicals that you'd be able to put together without a lot of trouble, though it's an unstable compound. The working theory seems to be that this cell may have been directed from Syria, that the training may have happened there. There's lots of evidence that people went back and forth from Molenbeek. Again, these are all people from here. All 3 of the bombers identified are from right there in that neighborhood, and they went over for some training, it sounds like, or at least had some direction from there. And how to make them may have been something that they learned, but the belief is that they were put together here, maybe even in that home, and that one bomb maker was probably, as the sources put it, probably responsible, at least in some way, for all of them. So that they were able to find 33 pounds of it. And think of it, the bombings in Paris, each belt contained about 1 pound.
Wow.
So they could have done a lot of damage with those. That they found that big stash is a very good get for authorities here locally. And there's hope that that's all they had.
Well, I tell you, what you're describing is more of a command and control situation that generals have been telling us for months would be a shift in all of this potentially, because, you know, it's a lot easier to get that cell together locally, but if you have direction or materials coming from someplace else, that's a bigger situation. And it sounds like a lot of money involved to get that going, too.
Well, I went there as well, but as it's been described to me, it wouldn't take a lot of money to build what they built. The big fertilizer bomber, like was used in the Oklahoma City bombing, that takes more money, more space, more time, bigger thing to deliver it in. This is smaller. It doesn't have as much destructive power. But the thing that's been stressed to me is that these people radicalized themselves. that they were put off in the local community. The unemployment rate was very, very high. They didn't have any hope. They didn't have much conversation with people outside. There was a language barrier, a cultural barrier, a religious barrier, and that these cultists, radical Islamic extremists, the terrorists, infiltrated, said, we have a way for you. We have something that'll give you hope, that'll give you community, that'll give you family. Come with us. Lacking anything else, that sort of terrorist mentality, that cultish sort of attitude worked for them. And that's a tie they have to break. They have to change the narrative. And they say here they're working on that with the knowledge, as it's been described by one and all here, that they're way behind the 8 ball and they're running out of time.
All right, Shepard Smith, always great to have your perspective, your reporting from so far away. 3 p.m. Eastern, tune in for Shepard Smith reporting. Thank you. You know, Jesse, what Shepard was just talking about, this idea of changing the narrative for these young people. Where does that responsibility lie? I mean, that the Boston bombers, we talked about this yesterday, that the Tsarnaev brothers, that they had a good life here. You know, they were educated. They had the best, some of the best of what we have to offer in America as their experience.
I think people have to be careful when they say these people radicalized because of high unemployment. I think there's a lot of people that don't have jobs in Appalachia. There's a lot of people that don't have jobs in Asia, and they're not strapping suicide jackets on and blowing people up. So that's simplistic. I think it's religious-based. Everybody agrees with that. And until you identify the religion that's driving this, you're not going to be able to defeat the enemy.
Yeah, Ebony, I'm so glad you're here today to get this perspective on it. You watched the video of the president after the baseball game or during it with ESPN. Yes. You know, I'm wondering among Democrats how they view this president. He walks out our public relations around the world. Absolutely. What do you think the world is thinking of us today?
I think collectively, Harris, that was problematic. Whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, or you get into the partisanness of that, I think it's a bad look in general. Because, look, I understand, and if you talk to the White House, they'll say that this is by design by President Obama. He's trying not to overreact. He's trying not to kind of put, that this is certainly what some of them are saying. The Wall Street Journal had a piece out about it. This is him trying to downplay the impact of ISIS. But I don't know if that's the right way to play it, because you've got to at least respect the seriousness of what's going on. And we heard Shep talk about 9 Americans affected by this.
Have we heard that from President Obama unprompted? Have you heard? I might have missed it. That's why I'm asking.
I mean, I think certainly he's addressed it, but again, the totality of those circumstances at the baseball game in Cuba, not for many people,
dancing,
you know, just trying to, I don't know, distract from the seriousness, not give ISIS their credit, but in the same process, Harris, I think many of us say, but what about acknowledging the seriousness and the gravity of this nature? I want to say this too, Harris. As a criminal defense lawyer, what was most concerning to me about what happened in this attack in Brussels was that at least one of these suspects was in custody. Going back to the summer of 2015, and because of a lack of evidence, released.
Well, not just in custody. He had, and you're talking about Khalid's brother, Ibrahim. He had been identified by Turkish authorities as a terrorist.
As a fighter.
And they deported him back to his home nation of Belgium, saying this guy's a terrorist. And because then they didn't have in country the evidence, they let him go.
And we've got to revisit that threshold, I think, about what evidence is necessary. Because, look, I'm all about the individual rights, and those have to be assessed, but never at the expense of the safety of others.
A lot of missed signs. I mean, this happens every single time. All right. In the meantime, there's a chilling new report about ISIS's reach into the West. The Associated Press reporting that the terror group has at least 400 fighters ready to carry out deadly waves of attacks in Europe. European and Iraqi intelligence officials say that the network trained in camps in Syria and Iraq and is designed specifically for attacks targeting the West. They say interlocking terror cells, like the ones that struck in Brussels and Paris, have been deployed with orders to choose the time, the place, and the method to kill as many people as possible. This sounds very, very troubling, Jesse. Clearly immigration problems. And on top of that, they're actually empowering more fighters to infiltrate Europe, assuming that it is porous, which we know that it is, and assuming that they're not really, one hand's not really speaking to the other. So if you're in Europe right now, do you import more refugees?
No, I think it's time for a pause there, and it's time for a pause here. You have ISIS sending in waves of fighters to Europe, and President Obama is literally doing the wave at a baseball game. We've seen him react to terrorist attacks. He plays golf. He flies to Vegas fundraisers. Now he's doing the tango in Argentina. I remember President Bush actually stopped playing golf during the war on terror. And Obama has just stopped fighting the war on terror. He says that ISIS is contained. I'd hate to see what not contained look like. The bottom line is people are scared. And they're scared not because Donald Trump is saying something. Right. They're scared because they know this president doesn't have a plan to defeat the terrorists.
And Rachel, I mean, it seems this administration has constantly been on different song sheets. You hear the DOD, the Department of Defense, talking about the grave threat of ISIS. Then you see President Obama with Matt Lauer a couple weeks ago, and then yesterday saying there's no existential threat against the United States of America. Yet the day before he says ISIS is his top priority, even though he said it was climate change. I think the American electorate's a bit confused.
And people wonder why Trump's numbers are going up. This is exactly why, because they don't understand what is coming out of this White House. By the way, I want to go back. These 400 fighters that are coming in waves, which now the Europeans, or the Belgians, at least from what Shep reported, are saying is because of high youth unemployment. Well, where's the clamor to get rid of socialism in Europe? Because, you know, capitalism and free markets might help that unemployment problem, if indeed that is what it is. It's very clear to me from watching Shep's report, from seeing the reaction, at least on the ground in Europe, Europe doesn't get it.
I mean,
and we've got to do, we're going to have to go to the source and as a military take care of ISIS, because they're not going to do it.
There's no question that they have this problem, and they also have high unemployment. But to Jesse's point, Harris, if you actually look at who the terrorists are, there's a broad swath of different types of terrorists within ISIS. You see some of them who are educated in some of the best universities in the United States and in England, and then you see, on the other hand, you see some who are just illiterate and out of caves, and then you see some that are Russian from the Dagestani provinces. There's a broad swath of them that are empowered, not all out of work.
Well, but they all have one thing in common, and that's hate. So you are going to get a diverse resume, right? I mean, the devil walks the earth.